please remain seated and in the bleachers during the ceremony until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the conclusion of the ceremony has been announced. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Major General Jason E. Kelly, and the Command Sergeant Major John Byler, welcome to the United States Army Training Center in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, for the retirement review of 3 soldiers and the graduation of companies Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo from the 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, 165th Infantry Brigade. Please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Captain Bartley Wilt.
Let us pray. Almighty God, thank you for all the blessings that you continually give to us each and every day. As we celebrate the soldiers graduating, we reflect on the past 10 weeks and their commitment, dedication, and sacrifice for this great country. We always look forward and we ask that you would bless them with your wisdom, your knowledge, and safe travels to their AIT locations. And continue to bless them to be disciplined, trained, fit, cohesive teams ready to win our future fights. We ask these things in the most holy and precious name, the name above all names. Amen.
Please be seated. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of men and women you see here, who have chosen to serve their country as soldiers. This review is the last official formation in the careers of 3 lifelong soldiers and for our newest soldiers. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training. Far fewer are able to accept the challenges and difficulties that come with the life of a career soldier. But those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving a fallen comrade behind. This is an important day, and these soldiers can take great pride in their accomplishments. To the parents and families and friends of these soldiers, Fort Jackson extends a very warm and sincere welcome. We are justifiably proud of our retirees' lifelong dedication to our nation and are truly honored that the next generation standing on this field have chosen to join our ranks. Please direct your attention to the left of the formation. The units marching today from your left to right are the 282nd Army Band under the command of First Sergeant Sean Cupp. Graduating soldiers from companies Alpha, Bravo, the Battalion Color Guard, and the graduating soldiers from companies Charlie, Delta, and Echo. Identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeants. These dedicated non-commissioned officers form the backbone of the Army's training center system, selected based on the professional competence, leadership, ability, and years of service. These men and women undergo intensive training to earn the right to wear their distinctive hat and insignia. With the drill sergeant hat goes the important responsibility of molding civilian men and women into soldiers. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Matthew Owen, who serves as the executive officer for 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment. He and the battalion staff are positioned on the field.
Sound, attention!
The reviewing officer for today's graduation is the commander of the 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Brennan S. Goltry. On his left is Command Sergeant Major Angelo Fazio, the battalion's senior non-commissioned officer, master trainer, and principal advisor to the commander.
Sound, present arms! Always forward. Sound, order arms!
The commander of troops will now bring forward the colors and persons to be honored.
Forward, march!
Competence and commitment are the hallmarks of professionalism. The soldiers and drill sergeants coming forward will be recognized for their excellence in training and duty performance and serve as an example to us all. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. It is appropriate for soldiers in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag. We ask our civilian guests to please remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart as the national anthem is played.
Sound, present arms! Detachment, present arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Order arms! Sound, order arms, and parade rest!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness the retirement of 2 lifelong soldiers and a civil servant. All soldiers begin their journey by graduating from basic combat training. Over the years, there have been many changes to how the Army conducts basic combat training. However, many things remain the same. It was during basic combat training that these two soldiers were first introduced to the Army values. It is where they learned the importance of teamwork and that they have an Army family. The sense of a team and the Army family is still embedded in what is done here today. Over 74 years ago, these soldiers took the same oath to defend this nation that your loved ones on the field have taken. We salute these great soldiers as they pass the torch of freedom along to the newest generation of soldiers, your loved ones standing on the field today. A certificate of appreciation from the President of the United States will be presented to those retiring today. It reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain security of the nation during critical times in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in the coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. A certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff of the United States Army is also presented to those retiring today and to the spouses of the retirees for the dedication of service to our nation. At this time, Major General Kelly and Command Sergeant Major Blyler will recognize our retirees for their service to the United States Army. Major Joseph Okenbanjo, having served honorably for 22 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 30 June 2024. Major Okenbanjo entered active duty in Killeen, Texas, and will reside in Killeen, Texas upon retirement. His fondest professional achievement is being a better leader and a human being. The nation salutes. Joseph Okenbanjo, Major, United States Army, retired. Master Sergeant Ian Muncasey, having served honorably for 20 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 31 August 2024. Master Sergeant Muncasey entered active duty in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and will reside in Lugoff, South Carolina upon retirement. His fondest professional achievement is earning the opportunity to serve alongside of professionals dedicated to the values, duty, honor, and service. The nation salutes. Ian Muncasey, Master Sergeant, United States Army, retired. GS-13 Robert Barham, having served honorably for 20 years active duty, retiring as a lieutenant colonel and 12 years as a civil servant, totaling to a total of 32 years of federal service, is placed on the retirement list effective 30 June 2024. GS-13 Barham entered federal service in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and will reside in Irmo, South Carolina upon retirement. His fondest professional achievement is serving his country in the United States Army as a soldier and as a civilian in multiple positions during his career in federal service, while also having the opportunity to serve alongside his fellow soldiers and Army civilians. The nation salutes Please join me in a round of applause for our retirees and their families. Although newly retired, they will always be a part of our Army family.
Marines, post! Left, left, march. Left, right, march. Left. 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 Right flank, march. Left. Mark time, march. Group, halt. Left, face.
The soldiers most responsible for the training of these soldiers are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Patrick Richard, will recite the Drill Sergeant Creed. We ask that all drill sergeants past and present please stand for the reciting of the Drill Sergeant Creed.
The Drill Sergeant Creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. Thus, will defend.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Brennan S. Goltry and Command Sergeant Major Angelo Fazio will now present the awards. The Outstanding Drill Sergeant of the Cycle for Class 24-03, Battalion DSOC, is Drill Sergeant Patrick Richard from Wendell, Massachusetts. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Alpha Company is Private Tad Brooms from East Sparta, Ohio. The Soldier of the Cycle for Alpha Company is Private Lucas Harris from Sharpsville, Pennsylvania. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Bravo Company is Private Danny Washington from New Orleans, Louisiana. The Soldier of the Cycle for Bravo Company is Private Luke Merriweather from Belle Plaine, Minnesota. The Soldier Leader of the Cycle for Charlie Company is Private Stormy Blankenship from Tulalip, Washington. The Soldier of the Cycle for Charlie Company is Private Brendan Nelson from West Orange, New Jersey. soldier leader of the cycle for Delta Company is Private Nashika Brown from Queens, New York. The soldier of the cycle for Delta Company is Private Anna Hernandez from Akron, Ohio.
Right face. Forward march.
The soldier leader of the cycle for Echo Company is Private Giovanni Robinson from Chicago, Illinois. The soldier of the cycle for Echo Company is Private Ankit Sharma from Coopersville, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Brennan S. Goldtree.
Good morning, Let-Day Dragons, and welcome to beautiful Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where we make American soldiers. It is an honor and a blessing to have so many family and friends here to support our graduating soldiers. Major General Kelly, Colonel Lutlott, Command Sergeant Major Blyler, Colonel Hutton, educators of the Dallas-Fort Worth team, fellow leaders, and most importantly, family and friends of our graduating soldiers from the 1st Battalion, 34th Infantry Regiment, the Let-Day Dragons. Thank you for participating in today's graduation ceremony here on Hilton Field and virtually at home and across the globe. Today we bid farewell and safe travels to 3 outstanding soldiers and leaders, Major Okabanjo, Master Sergeant McKaysey, and Mr. Barham, as they retire from service. Their commitment to their soldiers will have a lasting impact for years to come, and we cannot thank them enough for their many years of service. I would also like to take a minute and extend my gratitude to 3 very important groups, both here and online. To the veterans, the retirees, and our Gold Star family members. Your sacrifice, both in and out of uniform, validates the importance of basic combat training. Your service and continued support to this great nation and Army cannot and will not be overlooked. Please, if able, and choose to stand and be recognized. I would like to also recognize the 282nd Army Band. Your professionalism lends class and dignity to today's ceremony. Now let's talk about why we're really here, to celebrate the accomplishments of these 504 newly minted American soldiers standing in this formation. They are all volunteer. They hail from almost all 50 states and territories. We have 17 countries represented in this formation, from 6 of the 7 continents. We still haven't had a representative from Antarctica, though. One day, maybe. These soldiers are the best the Army has to offer. On the field, we have a varied group. The oldest is Private Rodriguez, at 40 years old from our Echo Company. The youngest is Private Gershon, at 17 years old in our Delta Company. We have parents in the formation, 54 collective children in the crowd today. In Punisher Company, Private Z graduated high school at 14 years of age, and Private Rahani was an Afghan combat war vet who fought the Taliban during OAF for the coalition. In Bravo Company, Private Morris worked at a mortuary for 12 years before joining the Army, and Private Bain speaks 6 different languages. In Chaos Company, Private Serrato's great-great-great-great-grandfather was the legendary Sergeant Alvin York, who was awarded the Medal of Honor during World War I for capturing single-handedly 132 German soldiers. In Delta Company, Private Johnson's great-uncle was the first African-American NCO to graduate West Point and a member of the legendary Buffalo Soldiers. And Private Mohammed fought against ISIS as a member of the Iraqi coalition in 2014. Last but not least, in our Eagles Company, Private Castro performed at Carnegie Hall before he joined the Army. Why did they volunteer? Was it a sense of duty, a family occupation, or money for college? Was it to provide for their families, to test oneself, or to escape from a dark place? Whatever the reason, They now have one thing in common. They are all U.S. Army soldiers. Since their arrival at Fort Jackson 10 weeks ago, I can report that your soldiers have learned to become proficient in the basic art and science of combat. They've learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. They've learned the value of teamwork and trust in themselves, their team, and their cadre. They faced both mental and physical challenges while they were here. At times, they may have doubted their ability, but quickly learned just how capable they really were. They did this not by themselves, but under the watchful eyes of their drill sergeants and cadre. They did it as a team. Please join me in a round of applause for our soldiers, our drill sergeants, and our cadre. Basic combat training is a continuous assessment. We look for the drive and determination in every soldier. You may have heard the words of hammer, the anvil, and the forge. These are single and multi-day field training exercises that are designed to test not only what each soldier learned, was taught, but also their grit and ability to persevere and thrive in an increasingly rigorous set of conditions. In the forge alone, these soldiers covered over 35 miles on foot, ending with a 10-mile foot march with 30 to 40 pounds of equipment on their backs. All successfully completed a series of arduous tests, proving their technical and tactical competencies to join the ranks of our profession of arms. Nothing was given to them. They had to earn it, and they did earn it. So now what? Some will go on to be helicopter mechanics, others intelligence analysts. Some will be religious affairs specialists or communicators. Some will handle finance or play in the Army band. Some may even one day join our nation's special operations forces. It doesn't matter their MOS or military occupational specialty. They are all part of the greatest volunteer army the world has ever known. So to the soldiers on the field, we are proud of you. We are honored to have been your first unit. You are our future, and without you, we have no army. Without you, we are incapable of promoting peace through a strong national defense. However, with you, our future is bright. Ladies and gentlemen, those who stand before you represent what is best about America. Thank you for celebrating today with us, and may God bless the United States of America. Always forward, strike strong, and just like we practiced yesterday, victory, victory.
Colors, reverse!
Today's soldier is above all a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the Army ethos, grounded in the Army values, and determined to destroy the enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army Soldier's Creed embodies this commitment. To the soldiers on the field, the uniform you wear at this moment is more than just an outward display of vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation, an unspoken assurance to all who see. You are willing and able protector of freedoms fought so arduously for by all who have come before and for those who will bravely come after. You will become what you have set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals of this nation, founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Private Nishka Brown presents a certificate of appreciation to the retirees and leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed. Please be seated.
Pass and review. Pass and review.
In consideration of those around you, we ask that you please remain seated and in the bleachers until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. As you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed to your right. Once the ceremony has concluded, family members of awardees may meet their soldiers under the canopy located to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends, please meet your soldier on the field once instructed by the narrator. From El Paso, Texas, under the command of Major General John J. Blackjack Pershing, the 34th Infantry Regiment was formed in order to capture the Mexican revolutionary General Pancho Villa in the retaliation of attacks on Columbus, New Mexico during the Pancho Villa Expedition, Mexican Revolution. The regiment was assigned to Border Patrol operations and National Guard training duties. In April of 1917, the 34th Infantry Regiment was called upon to fight in World War I under the United States Army 7th Infantry Division, where the regiment fought on the Western Front into Germany until November 11, 1918. The regiment remained in Germany as an occupational force until the Treaty of Versailles was signed in June of 1918. The regiment was once again called upon during World War II, where they fought against the Japanese Empire at Leyte Island, Philippines. The regiment gallantly fought against the Japanese, spearheaded by Colonel Aubrey S. Newman's Follow Me, where they were bestowed the special designation Leyte Dragons. Passing the review stand is the commander of troops, Major Matthew Owen, and the battalion staff. The 282nd Army Band is commanded by First Sergeant Sean Cupp. The drum major is Sergeant First Class Corey Walton. Alpha Company is commanded by Captain Roberto Quinones. First Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Michael Dennis and trained